Hey folks, welcome to the channel. My name is Brian, also known as the Land Guy, and that is exactly what we're going to be doing today, is working on some land. We're going to be burning some brush piles, and I'm going to show you why I always keep a machine on site when I do these types of jobs. But there's an important aspect to it, and we're going to be talking about that, so hang tight. We're going to be there shortly. All right, we just made it out here. The machine's here. We're actually ready to start working on some of these piles. Now, there is 3 piles that we're going to be burning today and getting them started. We've got the Cat 306 here with us. Probably not going to be putting a lot of hours on that thing, but it is here for a reason. So at least a few of the things of the reason why it's always important to have a machine on site is you just don't want your fire to get out of hand or to spread. Now, we've actually got some rain here a few days ago, about an inch of rain, so I'm not too concerned. And then with all the green vegetation that we have here, I think we're going to be okay. The most important thing is to make sure it doesn't spread. But the other thing is too, is as this pile continues to burn and it burns itself down, you need to have something out here to kind of gather up the outer edge of that pile and push it towards the middle so it can have a nice, clean, consistent burn. And it usually takes a couple of days. And then once it's all completely burned, then we'll kind of get the ground smoothed up with that blade system that we have here. Now, on this particular job, we did some clearing about 10 months ago. And I just want to give you a brief idea of exactly what this area looked like when we came out here. It looked like what you see across from this little trail here, or this driveway. See how grown up that is? Like this. And one of the things the landowner wanted me to do, since they have a nice barn there, is they wanted me to get all of this cleaned up and looking nice in here. Now, it was a complete mess and a jungle all the way around this nice barn. So we had a little excavator out here, and those things are super awesome on cleaning up some of these properties. And you've been seeing what the Land Guy's doing with one of those little excavators. They are as handy as a pocket on a shirt. So we came in here, got all of this cleaned out, and made a pile there, made a pile here. And then we used that blade system to kind of get all of this smoothed up in here. Yes, and then what the landowner did, they came out here and they seeded it. They threw some nice grass seed out here, and you can see it's actually taken off really good. I'm really quite impressed with how it turned out. Now, on around this barn is another pile, and we're going to move there in just a little bit. But first, let's get this torch system fired up and get this pile going. I may throw a little bit of diesel on there just to kind of help it get the initial start, but as dry as that is, especially with that being at least 10 months old, it should burn really, really good. As you can tell, it doesn't take much when it's this dry. Sometimes if your pile's pretty wet, you'll have to put that torch in there leave it in there for a couple minutes until it gets going good. But I think we're gonna have a nice fire. All right, so kind of see how that's starting to kind of spread. One thing we don't want it to do is to catch these woods on fire. So I'm gonna consistently keep an eye on this while at the same time watching out for snakes. I'm not a snake fan. I think we'll be all right. I mean, we've got some dirt exposed around there. I don't think there's gonna be too much of an issue, but you can see this pile is not like super bunched up. The machine I had was pretty small, but I think it's going to work out pretty good because with it being a little spread out like this, the fire is not going to be as high, which would have the tendency to kind of scorch those trees that's here around it. So I think it's going to be okay. We'll just need to keep an eye on stuff like this right here. Then here in a minute, I'm going to go over there and light that other pile when I feel like I can leave this one for a little bit. You guys see anything wrong with that? So I'll get those tires moved out of the way before I get this thing lit. I don't want these things catching on fire. That wouldn't be good. I'm gonna roll them right over here. This is how the real tire guys do it. They do 2 at a time, don't they? Nope, just a lizard. All right, I'm safe. I'll get this dude lit up. And I don't think I'm going to use any diesel. You guys saw how that other one went a minute ago. Save that diesel, right? It's too expensive to burn up. It don't take much to put it out. Just got to keep an eye on it. Say, let's go light the other pile. Oh, you gotta love the weather forecast. I looked at the weather this morning, looked at it last night, and they said the wind's high of 10 miles an hour. And I thought, well, you know what? That's gonna be okay. I'll light the fires in a certain direction to where that wind will at least benefit me. But I think the wind's a little bit more than 10 miles an hour today. I think there's some gust of up to 20. You've just seen these trees move. But anyway, so what we do is once we get those piles lit, we just kind of keep an eye on them. And then the next thing we do in about a couple hours, after they burn down a couple hours, then we'll go around and we'll grab some of these limbs like here that we see on the outside. We'll use that excavator because this heat will die down a little bit. I can get in here, pick this up and throw that on top of the pile. That way it will keep it burning efficiently. That's the same thing over here on this one. This one's actually burnt down a little bit more because we started it first. We can throw up on there and then we can kind of rake some of this in, grab some of that and get that piled. That way it burns a little bit more efficiently. So that's super important when you've got a machine on site. Not only are you keeping it from getting out of hand, but you can keep it bunched up. Now this pile over here, I had to pile it a little bit closer to the woods, and I could have piled it out here, but here's the thing, look right above me. I've got a power line right above me, so that's gonna keep me from having that pile out here away from these trees. So what I did a minute ago, I had some trees on the other side that was a little bit closer to the pile than what I'd like. So I went ahead and just broke them off, put them on top of the pile. The wind is blowing that way. You can see the leaves moving. I'm gonna go get my torch system and we'll get this thing lit. I think this one will be all right. You just gotta love it. So we're gonna let this burn, kind of keep an eye on it because that wind, just the way it's blowing. Gosh, I hate that. Let's go back in here to the back of the pile and try to push some of that onto the top. Well, looky what I found here. I think I might be able to put that on a pile. Wow, this thing can lift. All right, let's walk it over there. Look at that, cat power. Well, we've been safe today. We had no fires get out of hand. There was a couple of piles that I had to kind of rake some fresh dirt around just because the leaves started catching on fire, but having that 306 here worked out good. I've been able to also keep the piles bunched up together, and I just got done bunching these up one more time on this, and we'll let it burn tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow and tidy things up and then try to get everything bladed out. There's that pile. This one over here had a little bit of metal in it. If I remember right, when I was cleaning all this overgrowth here, that it had quite a mess in here, and I believe that as I was pulling things out, there might have been a little bit of metal in that brush that was mixed in there. But I got this pile kind of tidied up as well. Now, I hope that you are enjoying the channel and certainly enjoying this video. If you've not done so, would love to have you as a subscriber and follow us along in this journey. We've got some exciting projects ahead of us, and like to be able to take you along for the ride and show you how the land guy does these land improvement projects. Basically what we're doing is we're just wanting to make land better. There's two things that I really enjoy doing. The first one is I enjoy running equipment. And the second thing is I enjoy helping landowners. I just enjoy helping people. And anytime that I can take my expertise and what I enjoy doing and help somebody else, it makes me feel really good. Here's the other pile here. There's not much left here to burn. We got it all bunched up here. Used those thumbs on that excavator and kind of piled everything together. This should have no issues tonight burning down. Got plenty of dirt around here, so I don't have any concerns with this wanting to spread. So we'll come back tomorrow, tidy things up, get it all bladed smooth. Hey folks, we're back out here again today. Now remember, we let these piles burn most of the night, and they actually did a real good job. We were tied up this morning with some activities at school for our daughters where they attend there at the Christian school. But we are back out here today. Still got my dress up outfit on. Yes, I know. What are you doing wearing dress clothes? Well, I thought I'm going to be in that machine, so I'm not going to get too dirty out here. But I do want to get these piles stoked up a little bit more. See if I can get anything else to burn. I know. Maybe I can do a little bit of smoothing here on some of this. Use this blade. Super handy to have this blade, not only for stability of digging things or trenching or digging stumps out, but you can also do a little bit of finish work with one. Some of the fancier minis have the angle blades on them, which are pretty nice. Something else too about this cat, I don't know if you see it here, but it's also got this little leveling devices here you can see. So I'm kind of at a 4% decline here, and then an angle of 2.4%. So I guess that's kind of cheating a little bit if you're wanting to get really precise, but I don't think we're going to get that too precise on getting this leveled here. Just wanting her to get spread out. That way the landowner can get some grass seed planted in here. Keep this looking good. I just don't believe this dude's going to get going. Not enough coals. It's okay. We can still get her all taken care of though. Handy thing about having a little excavator is you can dig you a hole and just bury usually what won't burn. I do that quite a bit. Here I am digging up more stuff, ain't I? Just gonna lay that right over here for now. I'm gonna dig a hole right where this is at. going to grab this stuff, move it to the side, and it could be whether these wood stumps that was left here had dirt, or I just wasn't able to keep it bunched up through the night. I'm going to bury all that stuff right there. Just want to dig down in here and see what I got. Look at that clay in there. There's some pretty good clay. Alright, here we go. Get some of these ashes in there too. And then we'll cover it up here with some good dirt. I'm gonna go grab this here. There we go. Alright, so that's that. Now we'll put some of this stuff here on it. Alright, so I'm going to kind of smooth this a little bit, and then I'm going to put the blade on this thing. What I'll end up doing is coming through here, and I'll be getting it spread out on here, and then I'll be cracking it in and walking it in and getting it compacted in there. Kind of raise it up a little bit because it will sink with tracking. You want to leave it just a little bit high, because with time it should all be leveled back out to the ground. So you see this little icon right here? You can click it, and the joystick is what is going to be driving it once I hit OK. There we go. Look at this. You just like a skid steer. You can still run your blade. Yeah, I'm just doing all of it right here. And Caterpillar's the only one that has this feature that I know of. Yeah, those things pretty sweet to have that option. See, because I can't, the only thing, oh yeah, I forgot. So this one here runs the blade up and down. This one runs it back and forth. I forgot about that. So but I can't use any of that. Isn't that sweet? It'll be just like a dozer. And then say if you need to use your boom again, you just click that, takes it back off, and then you can operate your deal. Or if you like blading kind of at an angle so you can kind of see what's going on, click that button again, and then you're good to go. Well, as you can tell, whenever you're burning brush piles, having a machine on site is really the key. That way you can kind of keep the piles bunched up and keep them burning. And the next day you can come back, bunch them up again. And whatever is left that does not burn, just dig a hole simply right there and bury it. And then you've got that blade on the front, if you have a little mini excavator, and you can blade it smooth. This is one of them that we did here. We did it all in and got that done. Now this one over here is just a little bit unique. In fact, I was talking to the landowner and he said, you know, Brian, he says, I'm thinking about having a fire pit and I'd like to put it over here in this area. And I said, well, that's a perfect idea, because I said, I've actually got a few bigger logs in this pile that's still wanting to burn. So what I ended up doing is I picked them things up and I put them over here on the side and they continued to burn. And then I got all of this dressed up. I ended up having to dig a hole because it had some ash and some different things in here. And I got this all bladed, walked in and smoothed, and then I grabbed the logs there and put right there in the middle. And he says he's got some large stones that he's going to end up putting around this and having some chairs out here and having a nice little fire pit. Now this property here has 2 homes on it. One of them is up there that has this large barn. And then they've got a brand new house right back there in the woods that is just absolutely beautiful. And you saw at the first of the video the lane that comes in to the property, and there's the house. And they've got their own fire pit down there too. So this one today, I just wanted to include you all on how important it is to have a machine on site when you're burning piles. If at all possible, either having a front end loader, having a little excavator, having a bulldozer or something on site in case the fire gets out of hand. You can take care of it pretty quick. And you saw how windy it was yesterday. Wow, that was crazy. But thank the good Lord we didn't have anything get out of hand and have any problems. But man, that wind did help that fire burn really, really quick. And then you saw us being able to get everything and keep it bunched up and keep it burning. And then we were able to get everything dressed out and finished up and looking good. So if you're new to the channel, I'd love for you to subscribe. That really helps our channel grow. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and tell us about any problems that maybe you have come across whenever you were trying to burn some brush piles. I'm sure there's some real doozy stories out there about some of you all that maybe burned a pile and it got out of hand really, really quick. Well, for the land guy, I'm over and out, and we will catch you in the next land video.